what I was thinking about the other day was, you know how sometimes people have like very deep conversations with like their friends or somebody one on one, and then, well, at least for me, I've always thought, why are these people not having more of these conversations more in public, right? And what I mean is like, for example, like conversations are like taboo in society. Like when we talk about sex, we talk about religion, we talk about family, things like that. So I was wondering, just why people are not having this type of conversations.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that part of it is that, it is confined to that intimate space between two friends, and it's, that intimate space is sort of like a sanctuary between those two folks because they've grown accustomed to one another, so they feel comfortable, they feel safe. And I feel that outside of that dynamic, folks aren't necessarily feeling safe to express themselves outside of that one-on-one close relationship that they have, that they've established that kind of trust. It's hard to step out and trust the general public with opinions and beliefs and things that you've locked inside your own head.
Yeah, and also, it takes a certain, I guess, amount of trust, right? To, like you've been saying, like, to have that conversation with somebody else, versus just bringing it up to someone else who you may never had a conversation, like an intimate conversation with. It's more difficult to have it, which I totally understand. At the same time, I wish that it was happening more often, because then people will start understanding each other more and really trying to get to know each other more and see us beyond whatever. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so with this, I hope that something, the way I describe it is like, class conversations are more like conversations that we, that maybe society, about the things society sees as taboos, and then just bringing it out and being more open about it. Oh, hi! But anyways, what do you see us talking about in this class conversation?
Well, there's a variety of topics, I feel like, and I feel like that once you start to open up that floodgate for conversations to be brought to light, that more topics are going to be rolling out. But starting off with, you had mentioned sex, so there's different taboos of sex in our society, and I don't know if it's I think there's more of a space to discuss not just sex, but relationships and things that are behind closed doors, under the sheets, that sort of thing. I think there's more of an openness to discuss those sort of things. Within the last 5 or 6 years, there seems to be more of a receptivity to different forms of sexual expression, romantic expression, avenues to pleasure. So I think if you, that's one of the topics, of course, is sexuality and the stigmas associated with different taboos of sexual expression. But outside of that, it's, like HIV prevention, that sort of thing, and health, finances, career, spirituality, which is something I'm deeply interested in. I think that the conversations stem across the board. It's whatever folks are feeling that they've locked inside of themselves or have kept behind closed doors and haven't really wanted to share with other people. It's providing a platform, providing a safe space, a sanctuary for anything to be expressed.
Yeah.
And not just tolerating the expression, but also accepting it for what it is, an expression of someone's soul, someone's truest form, their heartfelt whatever, right? And demonstrating the love and acceptance of who they are personally, and what they don't normally show outside of closed doors.
Yeah, I definitely hope for us to create a space where people are comfortable to just voice their opinions and not be judged for it, and just say what's been on, because we all have things in our mind, and sometimes we just don't say it because we're afraid of being judged for what we're gonna say, and there might be disagreement, but when we're thinking of conversation, I'm thinking about the exchange of ideas and being open to listen. It doesn't mean this is gonna be to convince you, even though sometimes it may seem like it, especially from my end, but it's definitely just allowing that conversation to happen. That I feel like often we don't let that. Sometimes we, the moment when we start trying to convince somebody else is when it starts becoming an argument, and that's when it's an argument. It's no longer a conversation, and it takes away that opportunity of being able to learn from somebody else. Whether you agree or disagree with them. So I'm excited to really bring up out to the open, getting these topics out of the closet, and it's time to talk about these things.
This shit.
Anyways,
but I mean,
this is a family channel. I have to keep it cute.
In addition to the ideas and thoughts and all the words, I think there's an energetic component to it, which I'm interested in, and it's exchanging and opening up the energy so that there's free flow of, again, the unconditional acceptance, unconditional love, the basic fundamental human spirit that's exchanged, that's freely given. There was an acting class a couple years ago. There was this one teacher who said, "Be generous of spirit with your fellow actors," and I love that phrase, "Be generous of spirit." That's not holding yourself restricted and so closed in and closeted with your own ideas and opinions and energy. It's opening yourself up and allowing things to flow through you and out of you and be cleansed if necessary.
It's so hard for a lot of people to be that open. I think in society with and obviously we're not that into it right now, but there can be this this type of conversation where many people are have a wall, for whatever reasons. They have their reasons for what that wall is, and so I'm thinking now that it's so easy to put up the wall, but it's so hard to put it down.
Because the wall, not having the wall means that I'm vulnerable, right? Yeah. I mean, there's
no wall, please, no wall.
Yeah, no wall. Tell it to our dear, glorious leader.
Oh, hell no.
But I mean, there's a tension in holding up the wall, and that tension is based on the fear of being found out, being discovered for being less than whatever the ideal is. And I think with Closet Conversations and providing a space and saying you don't have to put up a wall, you can put yourself down, you can display yourself exactly as you are, and you're accepted for whatever you present, whatever's flowing out.
Why do you think judgments happen?
Why do you think judgment happens? Well, I mean, it seems like that folks live with certain models of the world, right? I mean, they have their own philosophies, their own outlook, their own expectations, their own ideas of how things should be. Oh, you're dying over here.
I'm dying over here. Let me ask you again. Well, I know you were in that.
I was doing the thing. Yeah.
Why do you think judgments occur?
So again, it's because folks are stuck in their own models of how the world is supposed to be, and so they see you through whatever filter they have set up as an expectation of what they think people should be. So, for instance, just seeing you on the street as a stranger, a Latino young man who has a little flare on his wall, there's an immediate judgment. There's an immediate judgment of who you are as a character. I've created an entire story without even knowing who you are, right? And I feel like that folks do that impulsively or instinctively, maybe, without realizing it. And as a result, these judgments, these beliefs, these barriers are created, and then we vocalize them when our expectations aren't met, or if our expectation of the person is that they are a failure, or they are rude, or they are whatever. If they demonstrate that, who is it? What'd they do? Go get them. Tell me about it. What happened? So what was I saying? So when you have those certain models and judgments already preconceived in your head, and somebody confirms them for you, then you say, "Oh yeah, see, I knew you were always a fake, or I knew you were always a liar, or whatever," and that compounds the idea that.
Elsa. But it's interesting because that's also going. Elsa, that's my tea. I love you too, girl. Okay, let's sit down. Let's relax. We're trying to have a conversation here. But I mean, it's not to say that I'm not to hold people accountable for their judgments, because I think they should be held accountable. At the same time, when we decide to get to know someone more, we then realize that these judgments, come, from different places, from the way they were raised, media, friends. It just comes from different places, Again, doesn't mean that we shouldn't be like, oh my God, they probably have, something, and that's why they have those judgments. No, I think we definitely need to still call them out. But I think having conversations about things, of course, it depends on the space, location, all that stuff, right? Who the person is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think having this genuine conversations where we can be open to really unite us more as hopefully human beings.
And I mean, maybe not large scale, but if it happens, and this is what the hope is, if it happens with 2 or 3 or 4 people, and it's in that small pocket of folks who normally wouldn't communicate with each other, and they're being expressive, or just one person who's feeling more confident because they've expressed an opinion and they've been accepted for that opinion, they haven't been judged or rejected for it, they feel more confident about who they are and expressing themselves. If we can get one person on board with that, then I think that it's a success. Even if it's not this widespread thing.
So, do you have any topics, like, out of the top of your head that, you'd love to dive into in the future?
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I mean, for me, it's always going to be the spirituality thing, or the magic and the rituals that we engage in to support ourselves, right? That's...
So sex. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, yeah, there's such a thing as sex magic, so it's possible. But, I mean...
Sex and magic. No, that was... Oh, wait, I can't say that. I'm just
kidding. It's a family channel. No, I'm interested in...
I was saying get some copyright from Sierra.
Word. No, I'm interested in the energetic component. I'm okay with the ideas, and I love talking about ideas, but I really want to feel and hear the generosity of spirit. I want to hear folks express themselves and get a taste of that love. There was, we weren't happy about it, but Wrinkle in Time, one of the lines I remember from it that's coming up now is, the light goes through the faults, or something like that. And the idea is that the places where you're broken, that's where the light goes through. So I'm interested in seeing folks uncover their own fractures, be honest about their own fractures, and shed some light in them and through them. That's my interest with this whole project.
Yeah.
What about you? What kind of... you seem more, focused on topics and so are there...
No, I agree with you. I definitely want to see that side of people. The reason I'm thinking a lot about topics also is because I guess I'm trying to think what topics would challenge people to do exactly what you're saying. So that's what I'm thinking. And so, a lot of the topics that I'm thinking about is just from my background in work, and that is sex and relationships. Those are very taboos. But not just talking about sex and relationships, but also kind of like talking about challenging the norms, of, like, for example, gender roles and what impact that creates in relationships, monogamous relationships, and what people may be more open to open relationships, or other things like that. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but I think anything that is gonna challenge people's ideas, it's a good topic. And I love being devil's advocate, or being that person that throws the monkey wrench, or whatever, however the saying goes. I like being that person. So I'm really looking forward. And this is not gonna be a conversation only between us. We're gonna be talking to everybody, and we hope to also, inviting people to become guest speakers and provide, ideas for topics, and just be open to see where things go.
Yeah, and of course, the comments and that sort of thing, wherever the videos are posted, those are taken into account too. Or even if folks who can't make it to glorious LA and they're not able to be on camera in person, their conversation, their voice still matters in the comments and any kind of discussion that's surrounding wherever the videos or whatever is posted.
Yeah. I just hope that everyone's gonna be very respectful.
It's family centered.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So we welcome anybody to be part of this, journey. And I'm so excited to see what we talk about, what we discover, even within ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway. Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll see everybody next time.
Yay.